What's up, everybody? So we're back on the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode I'm going to be giving y'all a little bit of advice to newer knife makers who either have just started or about to start, or maybe have made a few knives already, and try and help y'all make good decisions within being able to put out a good blade. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Now, the reason why I didn't start the build series just yet for the one that we're going to be doing for the Shop Talk Tuesday is because I didn't want to start that until after Blade Show. Now, I'm going to be at Blade Show in Atlanta this coming up weekend, and I'm just going to be walking around. I'm not going to have a booth. You will see me here and there around Dennis Tyrell's booth, but I didn't purchase a booth or anything like that. I'm just walking around saying what's up to everybody. Make sure y'all just, if y'all see me, say, hey, what's up? I watch your channel. Don't be afraid to talk to me or anything like that. I'm cool with talking to everybody. So I will be there. I'm going to be there all 3 days. I'm going to be filming the process of me driving there, hanging out there, talking to people, and coming back. So I will put out a video, which will probably be next week's Shop Talk Tuesday, be the video about Blade Show. So that'll be pretty cool. Be my experience there. So if you didn't get a chance to go, at least you'll be able to see a few of the things. Now, when it comes to a bit of advice that I think will help people who are getting into the knife making process, steel choice is huge. So whenever it comes down to it, a lot of people will advise newer knife makers to get something like a file or a rasp or a leaf spring or something like that to make their first couple of knives on, because they're easy to get your hands on. They typically don't cost anything. People sometimes have those things sitting around, and I'm going to advise you against that. Now, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would be the person who would have said, yeah, just grab this and grab that and try it with that, it'd be fine. No. If you're going to go ahead and try and get into knife making, I'm going to suggest that you actually get known steel. And the reason behind that is because steel isn't as expensive as a lot of people think. You know, you could go to a place like Pops, popsknife.com, and you can easily get pieces of steel. Okay, so this is 4 feet of steel right here. Okay, this is 1/4 inch thick, 80 CRV2. Now, what I would suggest if you're going to get into knife making is that you get something like, I would say, like the Pops 8670 or 1080, 1084, or maybe 5160, but like it's new 5160. It's not leaf spring 5160. It's new stuff that's, kind of like virgin steel. So the reason why I would suggest going ahead and getting known steel is because you're going to want to try and heat treat the thing that you're making. And I suggest that you start heat treating right off the bat. Making a forge is not that complicated. I made my first forge out of an ammo can with fire bricks and a torch, a matte gas torch. And I was able to successfully heat treat plenty of things off of that before I made my forge, which is basically just a big version of that same exact thing. Now, I just suggest you go ahead and you make that. A lot of people have torches already. You can easily go and get a matte gas torch from Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those things. Heck, you can get them from Walmart. And get you a couple of fire bricks. If you go to hightemptools.com, I'm going to leave a link for them in the description below. You can actually get fire bricks for really cheap. I just buy boxes of them with I think they come in boxes of 12. Because I can get them for less than $100 for a package of 12. But I think they sell them for $5-6 a piece per brick. You can get those, get them sent to you. All you need is a couple of bricks. You can channel out a little hole in them, put them together, put your torch in there, and heat treat a simple knife very easily with like canola oil. And the reason why I was saying 1084 or 1080 or 5160 or 8670 is you can heat treat those and quench them in canola oil or peanut oil or something like that. So it's an easy heat treat process. Now, the reason why I wouldn't suggest something like a leaf spring for a newer knife maker is there's things that can happen with those leaf springs. You know, you don't know what they went through before they got to you. They could have stress cracks in them, they could have fractures, they could have all kinds of different things, and you need to be able to forge them flat and then normalize them before you heat treat them. And it's just a bunch of extra process. And the reason why I don't suggest 1095 is because in order to get a good heat treat on that steel, you need to be able to have the soak time. You know, you need to be at that temp for about 5 minutes minimum and then quench it. So, and could you do it with regular forge, and is it a little bit easier than some other things? Yes. I just never really suggest 1095. 1080, 1084, 5160, 8670, stuff like that. Super simple heat treat process. And the reason why I suggest those particular ones is because you know exactly what that steel is. You can easily Google the heat treat process. There's forums for it, everything like that. When you get a leaf spring, not all leaf springs are 5160. Some of them are made out of different materials and have a different heat treat process. So hopefully the big takeaway here is just go to somewhere like Pop's Knife Supply or you know, any of the little, you know, New Jersey Steel Baron or like all these other little places you can go. I like Pop's personally, but go on there, get yourself some known steel, and then make your knife out of it. It's one of the best ways to do it, and you'll know roughly what you need to do to be able to heat treat that knife and make a good quality knife. And you'll know that you have the best chance to have a successful heat treat because that steel hasn't been put through a whole entire life of other stuff before you turned it into a knife. So just my suggestion, and just give you an idea. Steel like this right here, you can get stuff like this for, depending on what you get, whether you get something like 8670 or 80 CRV2, anywhere between 20 something bucks up to like 30 something bucks. It's not expensive to get a 4-foot piece of knife steel. So if I could just suggest that you do one thing, it's get good quality steel, even if you're just starting, and that way you can easily heat treat it because it's something that you can easily Google and figure out what the heat treat process is to be able to heat treat it, to be able to put out a quality knife. You could make the most beautiful knife ever, but if it has a subpar heat treat, it's not going to be a useful tool. You can make something that has a great heat treat, but doesn't look that awesome, but will last, and at least it will last. You know, once you get the heat treat right, that's when you start focusing on things like ergonomics and aesthetics. You know, like I said, you can make the prettiest looking knife that doesn't hold an edge, no one will use it. My other thing that I always say is you can make a really good looking knife that has a very uncomfortable handle and no one will use it. So once you get your heat treat down, then you get your handle ergonomics down, you'll be making knives, people will be buying your knives, and you'll be doing good. Guys, that's pretty much the end of this episode. Hopefully it was helpful for y'all, and hopefully it makes sense on why I suggest that you go ahead and get good virgin steel, good steel that is something that you actually know what it is from a place that you can easily order it from in 4-foot bars or whatever. Cut out your knife, make it simple, do a good heat treat, put out a quality knife. Guys, if this was helpful, let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Now, like I said, next week we'll be talking about, or showing you the Blade Show Atlanta, and then the week after that we'll go ahead and we'll start the Shop Talk Tuesday build series where we are making an awesome kukri. It's going to be really cool. It's a little bit different than the way that I've made them in the past, and I think you're really going to like it. Guys, thank y'all. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.